Let me ask you a real question. Have you ever looked at your credit report and found a bogus account on there that wasn't yours? You disputed it with the credit bureaus, and then they replied back and said that the account was verified as accurate? Look, I know you have. And I probably know what was going through your mind when you were reading the reinvestigation results. You were probably thinking, how the hell are the credit bureaus saying that this account is verified as accurate when you know for a fact it's 100% wrong? Look, I used to be just like you. I used to think that when I caught the credit bureau in a lie and they refused to fix it, boom, checkmate. I thought it was time to file a lawsuit. But there was one major step that I didn't even know existed. But the day that I figured that out, man, that was the day that my life changed completely. If we haven't met yet, let me pause for a moment and introduce myself to you. My name is Pierre Phillips. I'm a consumer law strategist and the founder of the Feel Good Credit Company. Before I was teaching people how to play this consumer law game, I was just an ordinary guy who was sitting at his kitchen table staring at his 3 credit reports and losing his mind. I couldn't understand why these credit bureaus kept lying about the information on my credit report, even after I had called them out on it. If that's where you're stuck at right now, I need you to understand something. I feel you, for real. I really do, because I was in your exact same shoes. I'll never forget it. I had all 3 of my credit reports spread out across the table. I had my yellow highlighter, my black ink pen. I even had my notebook with all my notes inside of it. And sitting in the middle of all that, a mortgage denial letter that said I couldn't get my house because of a bogus account that was on my credit report. Man, I can't tell you how many times I read that letter. The more I read it, the hotter I got, because I knew that bogus account that was on my credit report, that was a straight up lie. So what did I do? I did what most people do. I wrote a dispute letter to the credit bureaus and I mailed it out. Then I sat and waited. Finally, the envelope comes. I rip it open expecting some good news, but instead, what do I see? I see 3 words that made me even more furious than I was before. Verified as accurate. Talk about being heated. I'm sitting there staring at this letter like, are you serious right now? How the hell can y'all say this is validated when I know it's a lie? Look, that letter didn't just make me mad. It forced me to sit back and have a real conversation with myself. I had to look myself in the mirror and ask, yo, are you really gonna sit there and let some letter from the credit bureau dictate your life with a lie? Or are you gonna stand up and make them tell the truth about you? I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. At that point, it wasn't even about my credit reports anymore. It was about holding the credit bureaus and the creditors accountable for putting my life, my family, and my future on hold. Looking back at it now, having that honest conversation with myself was the exact moment that my life changed. Why? Because I realized I had been asking the wrong question for weeks. I kept asking, did the credit bureaus investigate my dispute? But that day, the question changed. I started asking, how did the credit bureaus investigate my dispute? What matters is asking better questions that expose what really happened during the credit bureau's reinvestigation process. I needed to ask better questions like, who looked at my dispute letter? What information did they rely on? Did they look at my documents that were attached? Or did they just hit a button that said verified as accurate? That was the day I stopped playing checkers and started playing chess. And that's the gem I want to drop on you today. You see, finding a mistake on your credit report doesn't mean that you have a slam dunk lawsuit that's going to stand up in federal court. It just means that you're at a point where you need to start asking better questions and gathering real information. Before I ran into a courtroom, I looked at the whole board. I identified all the key players, the credit bureaus, the creditors, the debt collectors, and I figured out exactly what their legal responsibilities were. Then I did something that I'll never forget. I grabbed a pad of paper, a pen, and I wrote out my entire story from front to back. Every phone call, every dispute letter that I sent, every bogus response letter that they sent me back, every loan denial letter that I received, and every way they messed up my peace of mind and my livelihood. You know, switching up my strategy and learning exactly how the credit reporting system works behind the scenes was one of the best decisions that I ever made in my life. Because within a reasonable amount of time, not only was every piece of incorrect information deleted from my credit reports, I also received $50,000 from my legal claims. For real. That was my journey. But let me tell you, my biggest victory wasn't even the $50,000 that I received. My biggest victory was when I learned how to enforce my consumer law rights. The same laws that I use to help people when their credit reports don't tell the truth about them. So, if you're looking at your credit report right now and you're thinking something ain't right, but you don't know what the next step is, listen to me. I put together a free credit report truth check guide to help you audit your credit reports the same way that I do, by asking the right questions, gathering the facts and evidence, and putting together a real strategy. The link is in the comments below. And if you need help with organizing your situation and mapping out the play, I offer a free consumer law strategy session. Just visit feelgoodcreditco.com, fill out the short application to work with me, and we'll jump on a Zoom call, figure out who the key players are, and come up with a strategy that works for you. If there's only one thing for you to take away from my story today, let it be this. The day you start holding the credit bureaus accountable is the day your credit reports start telling the truth about you. My name is Pierre Phillips, and I appreciate you spending a few minutes with me today. And remember, good credit feels good. I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.